This is pre-ground coffee. Yep. Why do you do this? Do you hate yourself? Pre-ground coffee isn't as good as freshly ground, right? Right. But just trust me this time. You know I can't do that. Is that the intro music? Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining me for my morning cup of joe. We'll be testing pre-ground coffee versus freshly ground coffee using a standard drip coffee maker, since that's the most widely used and, well, all I have in the house. We're going to start with the pre-ground coffee with a ratio of 1 gram of coffee to 17 grams of water. Nothing in the coffee world is universally agreed upon, this ratio included, but it was the top Google result, so take that as you will. Next, onto our whole beans. For parity, I'm using the same brand and blend of coffee, Stumptown Holler Mountain. According to my research, a medium grind is prescribed for drip coffee, which is described as similar to sea salt or quote-unquote regular sand. What is regular sand? After a quick blitz with the grinder, I'm guessing we're about there, so we'll use the same water to coffee ratio as with the pre-ground. Now I'm sure there are a few coffee snobs out there watching this, upset that I'm using a blade grinder instead of a burr grinder. To those folks, let me say, get over yourselves. But, for the sake of posterity, and really out of pure curiosity, I'm doing a third brew using blade grinder hacks outlined in a video by coffee expert James Hoffman, who, by the way, has some great content for anyone who's even a little interested in coffee. I'm grinding a bit more than the 24 grams since there will be a little waste with this method. After my grind, I'm passing the coffee through a mesh sieve to get out the larger bits, then re-grinding the larger bits of coffee and passing them through the mesh sieve again. After adding those to the rest of the coffee, I'm spreading the grinds out on a paper towel, then adding them to a bowl to weigh out the amount that will be added to the coffee maker. This is supposed to remove the extra fine bits of coffee, which should get me to a uniform size throughout. Brew this up, and now it's time for the taste test. All right, so we made it. We got all 3 cups of coffee here, and we are ready for the taste test. We have the pre-ground coffee, the freshly ground coffee, and then we have the freshly ground coffee with the James Hoffman hack method. We're gonna test out all 3 of these. I made them all as quickly as I could, and they're as fresh as they could possibly be with one coffee maker, so this is it. You can see my coffee cup collection is a little bit wanting. So I put the pre-ground coffee in a thermos cup to keep it as warm as possible since that's the first one we brewed. So we're gonna try it now. Okay, tastes like pretty much every coffee that I've ever had in my life. It's really showing off my palate here. It's pretty fruity, a little bit acidic. I mean, this is the type of coffee that I would normally drink. I don't have anything bad to say about it yet. All right, moving on to the freshly ground coffee. So this is way smoother. I was not expecting this level of difference, honestly. Like I thought, like with my coffee palate, it might taste the same to me, but it's like completely different. I'm the kind of guy who normally does a little bit of cream, just a tablespoon or so, maybe some sugar, but this does not need that at all. It's really mellow. There's way less acidity and kind of sweet, a little bit sweet too, actually. Now we're gonna go to the James Hoffman method. There is actually a pretty significant difference in like the final product between the freshly ground coffee that I made the first time and then using the James Hoffman hacks method. So here we go. Okay. I think there is a higher level of extraction from the James Hoffman method. I think it was a little bit of a finer grind that I did, and all the grinds being uniform probably didn't hurt. It's not quite as mellow. There's definitely more flavor to it, a little bit more body, and definitely less acidity. Like that's the biggest thing that I take away from this. Like if I just do a side-by-side, it's not like the acidity isn't there in the freshly ground coffee, but it's way more mellowed out. You can definitely taste a few more notes of the flavor since you don't have that kind of overpowering acidity. Personally, I'd probably still put a little bit cream or something in here just because I guess that's just who I am. But I mean, it's really good by itself. So if you liked this test, there's tons more coming. Hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel if you're interested, and comment below, what do you guys do at home? Do you buy pre-ground coffee? Do you freshly ground coffee? Is this video gonna change your mind at all, or are you just gonna stick with what you were doing before? Let me know.